hoş geldiniz. Çok kısa bir süre içerisinde yeni oturumumuz, ana konuşmacımızın konuşması başlayacak. Paradan iyisi Papara'nın katkılarıyla gerçekleştiriliyor bu oturum. Onun altını çizmek isterim. Fakat gene bir hemen hatırlatma yapmak istiyorum. Bu salonun ana konuşmacısı Binance kurucusu ve CEO'su Changpeng Zhao'ya sorularınızı yine Slido uygulamasının mobil uygulaması üzerinden ya da web sitesi üzerinden gönderebiliyorsunuz. @asalonu tspk etiketiyle moderatörümüz yeterli zaman olması durumunda soruları kendilerine iletecekler. Ben şimdi ana konuşmacıya sahneyi bırakmadan evvel onu takdim etmesi için kendilerini, yani Sayın Changpeng Zhao ve Gökhan Seçkin'i sahneye davet etmeleri ve takdimleri için Papara Partner ve COO'su Sayın Cenap Doğru'yu sahneye davet etmek istiyorum ve Sayın Cenap Doğru'ya bırakmak istiyorum sahneye artık. Çok teşekkür ederim.
Teşekkür ederim.
Buyurun.
Sağ olun. Herkese merhaba, hoş geldiniz. İsmim Cenap Doğru, Papara'nın ortaklarından ve iş geliştirmeden sorumlu genel müdür yardımcısıyım. Papara sektöründe uzun yıllar çalışmış profesyoneller tarafından 3 yıl önce kurulmuş bir lisanslı bir elektronik para şirketi. Temel olarak vizyonu finansal hizmetleri ne erişimi sağlamak, bunu tabana yaymak ve finansal hizmetlere erişimin bir ayrıcalık olmaktan çıkartıp daha fazla insanla buluşturmak, ödeme yapmayı daha kolay, daha hızlı ve daha ucuz hale getirmek. Papara'nın hizmetleri sayesinde şu anda 2,7 milyon kullanıcı birbirleri arasında ücretsiz para gönderebiliyorlar, para alabiliyorlar. Aynı zamanda Visa ve Mastercard lisanslı Papara Prepaid kartlarıyla istedikleri yerde, istedikleri zaman ödeme yapıyorlar. Tüm bunları yaparken aynı zamanda bankalarla kurmuş olduğumuz entegrasyonlar sayesinde platform bağımsız, banka bağımsız istedikleri noktadan nakit ya da dijital yöntemlerle para yükleyebiliyorlar. Biz faaliyete başladığımız zaman 3 yıl önce kripto para piyasasına bakış biraz daha farklıydı. Şu an geldiğimiz noktada bu bakış açısının çok değiştiğini görüyoruz. Bu bizi çok sevindiriyor, umut veriyor. Şu anda 2019 yılında Türkiye'deki en büyük kripto para borsalarının neredeyse tamamıyla çalışıyoruz ve onlara yapılan her iki ödemenin bir tanesini de Papara hesaplarıyla yapıldığını görmekten gurur duyuyoruz. Bugün bu işbirliklerinden çok büyük bir tanesini daha duyurmak isterdim burada ama onu ben yapmayayım. Onu rol çalmış olurum. Konuğumuz sevgili CZ yapsın. Ona bırakacağım. Şimdi birazdan sahneye 2017'de Binance'i kurmuş ve 180 gün içerisinde dünyanın en büyük kripto borsalarına getirmiş olan sevgili CZ'yi sahneye davet ediyorum panelde konuşmak üzere. Aynı zamanda Kimlik Blockchain kurucusu ve CEO'su sevgili Gökhan Seçkin'i de paneli yönetmesi üzerine sahneye davet ediyorum. Çok teşekkür ederim. CZ, please have your seat. Teşekkür ederim.
Welcome everyone. I'm with Changpeng Zhao, founder and CEO of Binance. People out of crypto and blockchain even may not know him, but for the blockchain and crypto world, he is like a celebrity. And I want to tell a little bit intro about why it's like that. He has founded Binance in 2017, July. And it's been almost a little bit over than 2 years. And it's a company which have more than 10 million global users. And more than 600 people are working for Binance. And in its first 2 years, it has generated over $1 billion in profits, not revenue. It's one of the fastest growing ever company globally. So welcome, CZ, welcome to Turkey.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for the introduction.
Welcome. So I want to ask you about the growth of your company, and what's the secret of success? Was it only it shouldn't be only the product. Was it the customer support, or is it just the timing, or is it because of the secret sauce Binance Coin?
I think there's a few for success. There's many different reasons. There's a couple key ones which I will talk about. I think the number one reason, the biggest reason, is we have a value system for protecting users. So we do everything when we make decisions. We always ask, does this thing help users? How do you make this decision? Do we do this or not? So when we ask that kind of questions, we always think about the users. So I think over time, our users, our supporters know, and they figure out that we actually want to help users. So that retains them. The second biggest factor is probably the blockchain. So due to the blockchain, we were a crypto-to-crypto exchange, and for a long time we didn't deal with fiat. So we didn't have fiat. We didn't have a bank account, but we were just using the blockchain for funds transfers, and that actually allowed us to service users in 180 different countries in the world. So that's something that other startups could not do before. So other startups usually they work in one country. And they deal with the fiat system there, and they add the next country. So that's also a big thing. So we're very lucky to be doing a business in the blockchain industry when blockchain is growing. So I think those are the sort of two biggest reasons. Of course, there are many, many other reasons, but I think all of you guys are here are part of the reasons we're successful, and I want to thank everyone for your support.
And second success is, I think, not just when I look at the beginning, but also the last 6 months. You've been launching products in an incredible speed that I've even read that it's more than combined of your competitors. So you have launched first margin trading, then lending, perpetual futures, and on the other hand, and these are the conventional instruments adapted for crypto. On the other hand, you are investing in blockchain projects, and also you are incubating them, and you are running a decentralized exchange. What is your vision and mission for the decentralized finance?
I think the long-term wise, I think everything will be decentralized. So I'm a very strong advocate for decentralization. But I think it's going to take a few steps to get there. So if we move to everything fully decentralized right away, it probably does not work too well. The user experience is not good enough yet. Most people does not know how to securely save their crypto wallet. So there's a lot of difficulties to overcome. So we also offer many products and services related to blockchain, but in a slightly more centralized fashion. So Binance.com has added many different services in the last 3 to 6 months or so. And some of them are innovations by ourselves. Some of them are just taking what's already working in the traditional financial space and moving them to cryptocurrencies because they're not quite available in cryptocurrencies, etc. So we want to provide a more ecosystem for our users so that you can do everything that's related to finance on the blockchain. So that's kind of our mission, and we try to do a little bit.
So what is next product-wise? Is there something that you can give a teaser about?
It's not so much a teaser anymore. We just launched support for Turkish lira, and many thanks to our partner Papara for supporting that. So we just launched the Turkish lira fiat support. What's next? I actually don't really know. We have a very decentralized team. I usually find out after some things are done.
So I want, not just me, there are many people I'm talking are interested to know about your strategy, because you are keeping adding new ways to on-ramp for crypto, but at the same time you are running some fiat to crypto exchanges like Binance Jersey for Euro and Pound, Binance US, Singapore. So will there be a Turkish fiat to crypto exchange, or will there be Turkish lira support only on Binance.com?
Sure. So right now, the plan is to just add Turkish lira support on Binance.com. That's probably the best user experience, and also gives the users already the access to the highest liquidity on Binance.com. Whereas previously, we tried to set up isolated fiat exchanges in each region, and the liquidity is lower, so you're getting worse price. So, but we'll see. When the trading volume gets high enough, we may do a local exchange, just say just Lira against every other cryptocurrency. But I think in the short term, the liquidity still needs to go up quite a bit. So 2 years ago, crypto to crypto was really hot, and the market is very, very active, and just that is already very high volume. And now we're seeing that more people wants to come in from fiat to crypto, so we need to make that bridge open. And luckily, I think now we're seeing very favorable regulations and support from countries around the world, and countries realizing they want to support it. So now that's a good business for us to be in.
Since it is a capital market summit, our audience may also want to know your opinion about tokenization of securities. Globally, we have seen several successful projects of tokenization of equity, tokenization of real estate. We have even heard more than maybe 1 year ago, you have been doing some collaboration with Malta Stock Exchange. But we'd like to know if it's in your roadmap, the security tokenization.
I think security tokens are going to be very big in the future, so it's definitely sort of on our longer roadmap. In short term, we signed a partnership agreement with Malta Stock Exchange, the National Stock Exchange of Malta, for the security offers license. And we actually have a couple other partnerships signed already as well. Security tokens, the technology is quite simple, and I have a very strong view that in the future, everything will be tokenized. So not only just securities, not only just real estate. I think any company, any project, any person, anything can be tokenized. So I think in the future, there will be like millions of tokens. Different countries are now kind of trying to figure out what's the best regulation for this type of digital security tokens. And that's not super clear right now, and I think there's a lot of experiments being tried, and I think that's very good. So we are looking at this space very carefully. I think it's a huge, huge space, but I think still very, very early in this industry. So in the security tokens area, we actually prefer some other exchange to try it first, because it deals with a lot with regulation, etc. A smaller exchange is more flexible in terms of what they can experiment with. So we're also happy to invest in a smaller exchange potentially to do this. So, but it is a very interesting space. I think it's going to be huge in the future.
Do you think the crypto exchanges will lead the space, or will it come from the conventional stock exchanges to adopt tokenization blockchain for their system? And maybe, do you think will there be a competition between them?
Honestly, I don't think there's going to be much competition, but I don't know who's going to lead it. The traditional exchanges and pure crypto exchanges are operating in very different ways. They're almost like car and boat companies. They don't really work the same way. The user base is different, so there's some similarities, but the way companies run in this space are very, very different. So we started without a bank account. We didn't have an office. We have a couple small offices right now, but we're kind of really spread out. It's just a very, very different mentality. So just everything every problem we think about it looks like, from the outside, the business looks like a similar business. It's an exchange, but everything we do is slightly different.
Maybe, as you mentioned, you do everything in crypto. The important part here is, I think, the stable coins. Without the stable coins, many people think, and I also think, that it will be very difficult to trade those assets freely. There is already a very different variety of US dollars in stable coins, Paxos, Circle, and Tether. And you also, as Binance, issued Binance USD. And why did you do that?
So stablecoins is a really new invention after Bitcoin is invented, so like a few years afterwards. But it actually is a really interesting product because it serves as a middle ground between pure crypto and fiat. Because pure crypto, when the market cap today is still pretty small, the price fluctuates quite a bit. And you can't lock that value against a fiat. And most people today, we hold money in fiat. We pay rent, we pay fees, we spend in fiat. At least the value is locked into fiat. So having a stablecoin allows now a asset that's transferable on the blockchain, but the value is pegged to fiat. That's a really interesting mechanism, which did not exist like a few years back. And the first one was done by USDT, of course, but there are many, many more now. I think USDT is very innovative, but USDT, there's no auditing on the books, so it's kind of a black box to most people, even for me. So I believe there are more ways to improve it. So we partnered with Paxos, which is our partner in the US. So Binance USD is actually approved by the NYDFS, and there's an accounting firm looking at the bank accounts, making sure that the money in the bank account is greater than the total supply on the blockchain. So now it's more transparent. So I'm always a very strong proponent for transparency, and I think having a regulated stablecoin is really, really strong. Paxos actually released their own stablecoin before the Binance USD, but it wasn't circulating very highly. So we said, let's put the Binance brand on it, and let's push it further. So yeah, and I think right now it's growing pretty quickly. So I think it's a pretty good experiment.
How is it minted? Is it through a bank, and where is it?
So Paxos, the trust, actually minted. So when they get deposits into the bank account, they mint it. And so we actually don't do the minting. It's our partner Paxos who does the minting.
I see. You mentioned adoption of crypto payments. What do you think stops people using crypto payments, maybe even in stable dollar? Do you think, is it because of the transaction speed, or is it just because of the technology, or you think there is more to be done for the adoption?
Sure. I think basically anything on the blockchain is much easier to transfer. You can transfer $1 million from here to China, or from China to the US, or you can transfer 0.01 penny to somebody. So once it's on the blockchain, it's a lot easier to transfer. So the blockchain has a number of very strong attractiveness advantages. So having even a fiat value that's transferable on the blockchain is still very, very good. Yeah, I think basically there are very clear technology advances in the blockchain space that it helps the adoption of stablecoins.
Do you have investments in the crypto payment area, especially?
We are looking at a couple of different. Binance Labs, our investment arm, is always looking at a very large number of projects in the payment space, including payments in here, Europe, even Africa, China, etc. So we look at everything.
Since we mentioned stable coins, now the central bank issued digital currencies. We are hearing news all over the globe from different countries. And at the same time, more popular maybe is the Libra project of Facebook. So after central banks of governments issued their own digital currencies, do you think it will compete against the privately issued stable currencies? And maybe aren't you afraid that governments will impose their digital currency on the exchanges?
I think basically we welcome every currency. So we don't make any judgments. We're not against any currency. We're not against any central bank. We're not against any project. So there's a very simple metric we do evaluations. We evaluate on number of users. So basically any stable coin, any project, if you have a very large number of users, then we want to support it. So being an exchange, we list many different coins, many different stable currencies. We maintain a very neutral status. So we don't really jump into the subjective opinions of whether something is good or bad. We let the users decide. If there's a large number of users who wants to use something, we want to support it. Most of the central bank digital currencies are not fully out yet, so I don't really know what they're going to look like. There are a lot of rumors or news, but we have to see until they come out. When they come out, if they have a large number of users, then we're very willing to support them.
Is your systems ready to integrate central bank digital currencies?
I would assume it's not that difficult if it runs on the blockchain. So it's technically quite easy to do, I think.
Uh, I'm also curious to get your opinion about what you think about public blockchain projects versus permissioned blockchain projects. Because when we look at the corporate world, the adoption is coming first from the private permissioned blockchains. Do you think it may change in the future, and how long do you think it will take for the fully public adoption?
I think public blockchains or permission blockchains or even private blockchains will always coexist because, again, my view is in the future there's probably going to be at least thousands of blockchains. So some of them will be public, some of them will be permissioned. A few different enterprises may share them, and some of them may be completely private. So, and which one gets more users? I would imagine most likely the public ones will. At least that's what it looks like right now. But you never know. So I mean, if Facebook or Tencent wants to issue their own permission one, and they happen to be able to push very large adoption, that's also possible. So yes, those are very hard to judge. But I think eventually, if I were to place a bet right now, I would say it's definitely the public blockchain.
Okay. I'm out of my questions, so I'll get some questions from the audience. We have about 2 to 3 minutes. One audience asked, why don't you adopt or integrate other fiat currencies, stable coins? And do you have any plans or partners to integrate stable Turkish lira?
Yeah, so we want to integrate as many stable coins as we can, and we also have some requirements. For stablecoin, we need to be able to audit the bank account, or somebody needs to be able to audit the bank account. And we also have some requirements on the circulating supply of a coin before we list it. If the circulating supply is only $300K US, then we can't list it, because if we list it, the price is not going to maintain the stable. So there are certain requirements we have. I actually don't have all of them in my head, but there are certain requirements. When a coin meets our requirements, we'll list it. We are very interested in listing a Turkish stablecoin. We're very interested in that.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear about that. Your headquarters is based in Malta, last time I checked. And crypto exchange business and wallets are regulated there. But for the last couple of months, you have issued leverage products, which are known more in the Forex space. Is it regulated in Malta, or are you adapting current foreign exchange and margin trading regulations?
So headquarters is an old concept that that doesn't really apply to a blockchain business like ours anymore. So we have offices all around the world. It's very difficult to say where the headquarters is. We do have a couple offices in Malta, but they actually service a Malta operation. So for the derivatives and margin trading that we launch, we comply with every regulation in the world, and that applies to not only just the margin and futures. That applies to everything that we do. So, for example, if a country does not have a clear ban say that citizens should not do X, Y, Z, then we respect that. So everything we do is fully compliant, fully regulated.
And the final question would be maybe the most important question that everybody asks. Do you expect an all-time high in Bitcoin in 2020?
Again, that's a really tough. That's a really tough question to answer. The short answer is really I don't know. I'm very bad at predicting prices, so I'm not even going to try. But I think looking at 1 year is a very short period of time. I think if you look at 5 years, 10 years, 100 years, blockchain will be everywhere. I think blockchain is a technology that's not going away. So if you put your horizon on 5 to 10 year horizon, I think the industry will get a lot bigger, and you can decide for yourself what's going to happen to the Bitcoin price.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
very much. By the way, we have to inform that some saplings has been layered in Izmir provinces for you, a couple of new trees. And we're gonna give you the certificates for that.
Okay, thank you.
Evet,
Here?
İzmir'de fidanlar dikildi sizler için. Onların küçük bir yine sertifika töreni olacak. Ben Cenap Bey'i yeniden davet etmek istiyorum. Buyurun efendim.
They will give us a certificate.
Bu arada ben de bir hatırlatma yapmak istiyorum. Eğitim salonlarımızda oturumlara paralel olarak eğitimler de devam etmektedir. Tüm panellerimizi eş zamanlı olarak Türkiye Sermaye Piyasaları Birliği'nin sosyal medya hesaplarındaki canlı yayınlardan takip edebilirsiniz. Aynı zamanda çeşitli finansal konu başlıkları için ayırdığımız network noktalarında da fikir alışverişlerinde bulunabilirsiniz efendim. Şimdi kısacık bir ara veriyoruz. O aranın ardından, çok kısa bir aranın ardından, 1-2 dakikanın ardından yine salonumuzda panelimiz gerçekleşecektir. Salonun hazırlanmasının hemen ardından panele geçeceğiz efendim. Çok teşekkür ediyorum.